Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of quadratic domain and range. This is standard A.6A in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 47 off the 2022 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we've got parts of parabolas. It looks like it's we've got each of the vertices of each of these, and then just one arm, either to the left or to the right. We are looking for the graph that shows us the domain of all real numbers less than 4, or less than negative 4. All right, so we need to define these two terms here. They're asking us for the domain, but sometimes it's easy to get that confused with the range. And unfortunately, we're not going to find the definition for either domain or range in your reference materials or your STAAR chart. So you got to know what these are before you come into the STAAR test. The domain, which is what we're looking for, is the set of all possible independent variable values. And so the shorthand for that is going to be the x values. Typically, they're going to be your x values. So the range, then, if the domain is going to be the set of all possible independent variable values, the range is going to be the set of all possible dependent variable values. Now, this one changes a little bit. For just a shorthand, we can say that they are the y values, but sometimes they might be represented by f of x, or g of x, even h of x. So that's why we don't just say, oh, they're the y values. Mostly they are, but we more technically will say the range is the set of all dependent variable values, whereas the domain, which is what we're looking for, is the set of all independent variable values. So we're looking for the domain, and so I'll just show you on this C answer choice right here. We're looking at the x values. So we're looking for the x values of each of these, and we're looking for the x values to represent all real numbers less than negative 4. So this is what we're looking for. X, because that's the domain, less than negative 4. If we can find that, we're good to go. Now, there is a very specific thing they did here. Look at all of these circles. We can't eliminate any answers here. These are all open circles, which means they're actually not including whatever number they're at right there. They are not including it because they're open circles. So if we wanted x is less than or equal to negative 4, this is what we would need to see. We would need to see closed circles, but we instead are seeing open circles because they're everything to greater or less than that number, but not including that number. Negative 4 will not work if we were to plug this into whatever equation represents these solutions here. So we're going to look at the x values because our domain is going left to right horizontal. So this has got a negative 4 right here on A, but that negative 4 is the y. This is really an ordered pair of 0, negative 4. So I'm looking at the x value. So this is going to be x is less than 0. I'm looking for the x value. Okay, so here we have an x value of negative 4, thankfully. So I've got an ordered pair of negative 4 and 0, but take a look. See how A goes off to the left? That's less than. This one goes off to the right, so this is x is greater than negative 4. So it's got the correct x value, but it's got the wrong inequality because it's going to the right, and when you go to the right, it's going to be greater than. When we go to the left, when we're talking about the x values, it's going to be less than. Okay, so let's look at C. So I do have an ordered pair of negative 4, 0, so that's good. And it is going off to the left. All right, so x is less than negative 4. That looks good. I'm pretty sure it's going to be C, but let's double check. Oh, they did the same thing down here. Look at D. They gave you a negative 4, but that's the y value. We need the x value. And so this is x is greater than 0. So now what we need, our answer here is C.